Okay, this next one is inspired by me from last year. A snowman that I never finished. I just now put little eyes and a nose on him. All he had was the buttons, and I made the hat too. But this is made by coiling paper on magazine pages, which I have one to show you. And I used a skewer tip for his nose, and he'll have arms too when I get done with him. But what you need is a tiny skinny skewer, and you're going to start, and the more colorful the page, the more colorful your snowman's going to be. Now I obviously painted this with one of those cheapy paints from, you know, that really cheap paint from the Dollar Tree. That doesn't work for crap, but I think I should have stayed on this side and just made it, you know, really like a, I don't know, high-end Art Deco type thing. But anyway, sometimes I have trouble starting these, so I take the point of another skewer and I just push it down right there. You hear my doggies in the background. You'll always hear something. This skewer, yeah, you want the skinny skewers. You don't want to use those big ones. You want this to be as tight and small as possible. And then if we start to see it getting to be, or you see it start to getting to be too big, you know, like really, really wide on one of these edges, just stop, kind of pull it tight a little bit, and then start rolling again. You don't even have to use a whole sheet of paper. It actually makes it harder to coil the thicker it is, but just for video purposes. And of course I got my Eileen's tacky glue. Wherever you push it, wherever you put this glue, do not glue it anywhere close to the beginning, because it'll stick to the skewer and the skewer will not come out. Alright, I'm going to spread it up here in the tip. We want it at the tip, so it's okay if it gushes out. Just keep twirling. That helps keep it rolled up. Jeez, it's really early. It's like 4 a.m. something. Alright, maybe it's 6 a.m. I don't know. I've been down here a while. I got up at 4. So anyways, you're just going to keep doing that. Now, calendar pages are beautiful when you do these, but the problem is they're super thick. So I'll show you. I do these while I watch TV. So anyway, if you use a calendar page, they're going to turn out thicker. See how thick that is? And these are regular magazine pages. See any contrast here? So it's so much thinner, you know, than the other one is. So, but they're still good. I mean, I can make a tiny little snowman out of this, or I could keep building because I have another really thick one. You can see the difference here between these two. One is super thick, but we want the thin ones right now. And I've already got part of his body done. So what we do then is, however you choose to, I flatten mine. Of course, my glue cap's off, so I don't want to squeeze my glue here. But the flatter you can get it, the easier it's going to roll. Coil, roll, whatever. Anyway, so I always try to start where I left off. So I don't know where that is because the tacky glue works so darn good. It's right here. Yeah, it's right here. So anyways, you're going to put some tacky glue on here. Stupid breathing thing again. I breathe, huh? I hold my breath and let it out chunky. I breathe chunkily. I've always done it, so it doesn't have anything to do with my COPD. Okay, so when you roll, you want to be tight. See how when I start to roll, I get a gap up there. So waiting for the glue to dry a little bit. Now you can use hot glue. Hot glue solved that problem, but I don't like the look of the hot glue all the way around it, so a little bit more tacky glue here. I get so messy, my fingers get so sticky, so tacky, if you will. Alright, so just hold it for a minute, and then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, you make these as tight as you can, flatten them out, and then you just keep adding on to your masterpiece here and make it as big as you want. You don't have to keep putting glue on it until you get to the end. I did that because starting at the beginning made it want to pucker out a little bit. But you can, I mean, if you want it to be more secure. Excuse me. My microphone is terrible. I was listening to a video. I'm right beside the microphone. And I was listening to my last video and it just drops off. I don't feel like standing down here yelling. But, I want you to hear me. I don't know. Anyway, for video purposes, I'm going to put a little bit of tacky glue here. And then I'm going to use a dot of hot glue to hold it down. Because when I, like if I'm doing this up there, it stays down really nicely. So I'm not even going to use the hot glue. But when I'm up there at the, watching TV, I don't care how long it takes, while I'm watching my show. I'm not paying much attention to actually what I'm doing here. So you can start right where you left off. These tips plug up so easy on this tacky glue. Every single time it seems like I have to stick a toothpick down in there. The reason why I didn't have to right now is because I just used it, so it's already been done. So yeah, again, you're gonna get the pucker when you start to turn your first curve. So just kind of hold it, push on it until you get it all the way around. It should roll pretty easy. Now my fingers are just sticking like crazy to this. The whole thing came up, which pulled up the last piece. But anyways, that's the best thing about the tacky glue, is that once it tacks, you don't have to keep holding it, or you don't have to wait for it. It'll dry later, but it's already tacky. So you don't have to, sit there and hold it or clamp it or whatever. Just keep going, and then you decide how big or how small you want your snowman to be. Now, I'm thinking that this is probably good enough for his base. I'll use tacky glue and a dab of hot glue. I don't want a lot. I don't want it to be, that hot glue to be gushing out all over the place in my snowman. Ouch, that was hot. But I want it to stay while I work on the other piece. Alright. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for the head. the little piece, that last piece that I put on there was so thick and whatever. So I recommend cutting your pages in half before you roll them. That'll make it a lot easier to handle. Anyway, I'm squishing this, keep making them a little flat so I have a place. I'm going to stick the head and the body together where the seams are. So that's a little bit of reinforcement. This little guy here is just so strong, so thick. Hot glue. I'm not messing around with this dude. I don't want him to come undone. So, and I have the parchment paper. Like always have parchment or wax paper beneath me. Well, if I'm painting, I'll just use the wax paper. The parchment paper is so much better for gluing and you know, whatever else you don't want to stick to the table. See this one here, I was able to flatten out a little bit better than this one. A little bit thicker at the neck. So I got a little bit of uncoil down here. So anyway, my husband yelled down the steps it's going to be hot today. We're supposed to go to Paw Paw, Michigan, to the flea market there. So anyways, this one's uncoiling a little bit, and it's too late. There's nothing you can do about it unless you tear the head off and, you know, undo it. But it's not going to hurt anything to have it that way. It's not going to come undone. So anyways, I'm over here working. I guess I was alright over there. I hope. Anyway, pick which side you like the best and have that side out. So I think this side, because it's got a nice looking coil on it. I'm not going to paint it. I think it's going to be cute just the way it is. Hopefully this head's on there good. That's why I hate using hot glue. I mean, hot glue is really good for paper, but I don't like that you can see it. So anyways, now I'm going to put some, I'm going to do some other stuff. Okay friends, so my nose and eyes are dry, but I just realized that my face is black and my eyes are black. So what do I do? Point a little white dot on them so you can see them. I'm going to go ahead and stick them without getting burnt here. Maybe by getting burnt, I don't know. I'm going to stick them on and then put a white and blue dot on or something. So sorry about that. My carrot nose turned out good, and the only reason I used glow-in-the-dark paint, that orange paint, was because that's the only orange I have at the time. So, okay, there's the eyes. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about the mouth. Pretty good glob there for the nose. Just stick him on. So a pretty good note to self is make sure I'm using lighter colors in the center, so when I start off the next one, I'll start off with this. But next I'm going to do a Santa Claus, so I hope you stick around to watch that. Also, I'm not real fond of the chicken arms, the chicken legs for his arms there, but I'm going to leave them like it is. I have this Dollar Tree scarf that I bought way long ago, and I've just been using pieces of it here and there, so I'm going to cut out piece to make a scarf for our snowman, and it doesn't have to be, so we're going to want it to come around his neck and then just kind of fold over in front. So I shall cut her here and do a little strip. I didn't put a scarf in my last one, but I probably will. I wish I could find that buffalo check fabric I have. I have one tote of Christmas stuff that I haven't gotten into because it's July, I suppose. So anyways, you want to kind of roll it, make it look more like a scarf, and then just kind of cross it in the front. Or you could put buttons like I did here. I like the scarf better, and I have more snowmen that I made that I absolutely cannot find. So I'm going to dig down the bottom of that tote today. Anyway, glue one piece of your scarf down to the snowman, and then a little flyaway piece. I just put a little touch of glue right there to keep that where it was folded down. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So I glued it down, and then it was open, so I glued that piece to itself. And then I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to glue it to the other piece. Right here. Just a touch of glue. Fabric bonds really, really quick with this hot glue, I noticed. So, the eyeballs are my pitfall here. Let me pause and get my white paint. Alright, so I just shake my paint, let it set for a moment, and then just use the cap. If you don't let it set, then you'll have a glob of paint following you around. But anyway, this is one of those artistic paintbrushes. I'm just going to put a little white dot here. If it starts to look creepy, I'm going to wipe the dot off. Kind of creepy. But yeah, so anyways, live and learn. This is just something, this is just something that I made last year off the top of my head, and I thought it would be fun to recreate it. It looks like a funny woodpecker. Oh my goodness, look. Is that funny or what? Okay, so now. So now what do? Do I give him a black dot in the middle? Excuse me, sorry about this scratchy throat. Alright. I noticed my camera angles been off. This says chalk on top of it, and the funny story is I tried to make chalk paint, and it ended up watery because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Oh my goodness, he just looked creepy. Oh my goodness. Cover him up. No eyeballs. Well, live and learn. Live and learn. It's the easiest way. The easiest way to learn something is the hard way. The hard way. Okay. So, other than his eyeballs, this is done. I'm not sure, maybe paint the eyeballs white. I don't know. Just make sure that, maybe that's why I painted, that's why I painted that white. So I could have threw on a coat of white paint on there. Anyways, thank you for watching. Just don't make the same mistake I did. Maybe that's just my, that'll be my, what do you call it? My thing. I don't know. My MO is how not to make something. That's why I'm the uncoordinated crafter, because I just grab stuff and go. I don't think about the consequences. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please hit like and please subscribe. I'm going to add another video onto this one of me making a Santa out of one of these. So stick around. You know what? I completely forgot to give him a hat, which is very common for me to be very forgetful. Here's one I made last year. He is so cute compared to the one I just made. But I think I painted him white, and then I used a Sharpie. I used a Sharpie on his eyes, and he's got the same toothpick carrot nose. But look at his little hat and his scarf. Isn't that cute? I took that material off of an old stocking. It wasn't an old stocking, it was a brand new stocking that I'd just seen the material on it, and I was like, oh, I gotta have that. Now I'm gonna make a Santa Claus here. I did this one last year, and I did this guy. This is what we're gonna do next. There's this guy here. My fuzz there. I do have different fuzz this year. Anyway, to make a hat, you can take whatever size popsicle stick you want, and like this one, you can round it off. I think it looks more pilgrimish, or like in my original little square hat, or you can make him a, what did I do with the material? There it is. You can make him a stocking cap by taking material and putting it around like this. Just trying to get a feel on how much I would need here. So, of course, there's going to be extra material. Okay, I'm going to go into fast forward. Okay, so you want to keep going until your circle is as big as you want it to be. Mine's a little bit smaller than the original Santa, but that's okay. It's alright. Now, I used hot glue, which I did not want to use because it comes through and you can see it no matter what you do. You can see that hot glue. But I tried just the tiniest little amounts and I did pretty good. Some of these pages were really thick. Like I can tell before I used to use half pages, but these were super thick and they were really hard to keep without getting a big gap in the middle of them where you could see light through it. So I did use the excuse me, the hot glue, just the tiniest amount. Sorry about that. Now I'm going to use, I painted the original one some kind of a beigeish color, so I'm going to take some, this is territorial beige. I don't know that I have a lighter beige. I probably do somewhere, but I don't know where that would be. So I'm going to take a little bit of this. I think it's a little bit too dark. And I'm going to add a little bit of white to it. I don't know how much white to use, but oops, I glued some sticks to my table. Cleaning out my glue, my tacky glue there. I left them lay there and they got stuck to my table. So, a little bit more white. Like I said, I have no idea. And what happened was I started crafting in a room upstairs. Tiny room. And Christmas came around, and in order to get my Christmas tree up, my house is not very big, but in order to get my Christmas tree up, I had to take a bunch of stuff out of my living room. And, you know, the Christmas tree is pretty important to the grandbabies. So, I ended up not being able to craft. So all my crafts got shoved in the corner. Darn it, that was way too much white on that. Oops. So anyways, I couldn't craft for several months until I finally got down here in this room. Even after Christmas was over, you know, I just went ahead and packed up my room, waited for my husband to build this. Oh, this turned out pretty good. To build this table for me, workbench, and this is where I've been then ever since. So any kind of brush will do. This is my applying glue brush, but it's going to be an applying Santa Claus face brush. So this, you know, obviously skin color is not white. Why they call us white, I don't know. Or who calls us white, I don't know. But anyway, this will give, this color will give us a nice pop for our eyebrows, oh geez, for our eyes and our rosy cheeks. And it's a little bit too brown still, but it's alright. It's alright. It'd be a really nice color to put makeup on, actually. Not bad. So now if I go by, you know, this guy here, obviously I have to wait for my paint to dry. But I have my little fan here. I love that little fan. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, it's dry. So I found a little bit smaller that thing, whatever you call it. I don't know why my brain's not working. I do know why. You know, yesterday marked the 10-year anniversary of my son's passing. And no matter what I do, that's All I can think of is him. That's all. Okay, so I'm going to use this as a hat instead of the original there. My Dollar Tree, that's my Dollar Tree scarf. I got so many uses out of that thing. Okay, so I'm going to want my hat. You can make it however you want. I have mine leaning off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and keep that pattern and just glue it up to look good. My husband's outside mowing the yard. It is a scorcher out there already. It's, I don't know what, 8 o'clock in the morning, I don't know. But it's so humid, it's just ridiculous. So anyway, we're going to, I actually filled this with something. Now I have this was a Dollar Tree mop head that it's just simply taken apart. So I'm going to use these for the whiskers. I think I'm going to use these too. I don't have any stuffing down here. Yeah, all of my stuffing is upstairs. I don't really have anything to stuff it with down here. So, yeah, I just straight up glued it. So that's what I'm going to do. And then we'll put the, oh, that's his nose. Silly girl. Silly woman. I have white ones here. I think I got these from Dollar General. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. So we'll just set that right on top so you won't really see that weird looking point on it. I'm going to cut this down a little bit. Make it a little more smooth. Like that. And then I'll have some white felt to go across there. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue this. I'm gonna bump run out of glue here. Glue, oops. Glue adheres fabric pretty darn well. This hot glue. I've not done it for anything else really. Okay, now that I did not get it on there right, I'm going to retrim here just to make everything match up. It's not only annoying this constantly to you, it annoys me to no end. Okay, I think I just cut that off flat right there. So this is going to go on now. The hat placement has to be before the eyes and stuff. At least it does for me. Because that way I know where I'm going to put everything. A little snip. And another little snip. Might be a little bit too big, but it'll do. I gotta get some more white felt. I have plenty of other colors, but not the white. So, I was gonna take a couple of these, push it up in there. Not too many. Kind of roll them up. Stuff them up in there to make his hat a little poofy. Just like that. Perfect. Perfect. And go ahead and glue his hat shut. You don't need like a big glob of glue. It's just a small amount there. Works perfect. Actually kind of ideal. Oh, that's why. Because I'm on the wrong piece. Right here, here, Terry. Alright, so you can put his hat on crooked. It doesn't matter, you know, how you want to do it. At first, it's just going to be crooked anyway because we don't know where our face is yet. So, just put a line of glue on the back of your hat there. And set him down. Like that. And then we'll put another glue stick out. Usually my glue runs out right in the center of something important. Now, as far as the as far as the using this as a beard, I've never done it before, so put that there, even it up a little bit. I am straightening up my room, trying to organize now. I have a big bookshelf over in the other room that, you know, nobody's using, but the controversy there is that that's my son's room. He passed away. He didn't pass away in that room. He passed away in the family room down here. But it was his room, and all his stuff is in there, and going on 3 years, and it's still so hard to touch his stuff. Just so darn hard. Alright, I'm gonna put glue on here. It's incredibly, I can't. I actually had someone say to me, someone who's never had a child, "You're still hanging on to that stuff?" You know what? I did not go off on her because she has no idea. She doesn't even know what it's like to have a child, to let alone have a child that died. So I told her very calmly, I said, "Well, that's not how it works." And she stopped. She said, "I'm sorry." She said, "I didn't mean to say anything to offend you." And I told her, I said, "I'm not offended by what you said, because I know I didn't say that, but I know it's ignorance, because you just don't know." Ignorant, you know, is not a bad word. Ignorant simply means you don't know. So, you know, I am ignorant when it comes to lots of stuff. When it comes to science and, you know, stuff like that. Okay, so his nose placement is important because then we can't put his eyes on. Really, we can. You could always make him a gnome, I guess, and just have all the hair coming down, and his hat should have been out onto the nose more, but no, we're just going to do it the way that I did the other one because it looks so cute. I think he's darn cute. So try to get him in the center there. And then the eyes, you could use whatever you want. Here you could use googly eyes, you can use beads, you can use whatever you want. Okay, so I took a tiny little bead and I cut it in half here. You can see that. And I'm going to paint them black then for the eyeballs. And then I'm going to start putting this on as the beard. And I'll quit talking now. Okay, this is like the third time I've tried this. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good day, good noon. I hope wherever you're at, you're having a wonderful time, a wonderful day. I made this snowman. I hope you watched the video. But I made this snowman and I thought, you know what? How incredibly close to looking like a gnome these snowmen are. So, I want to make a gnome. And the other two times I tried to do this video, one time I just completely messed everything up. But the second time I said I was going to take khaki and white and mix them together to make a face. But the gnome doesn't have a face. So then I was trying to figure out which did I want to use, this or did I want to use this. So I did a little practice run on it. And this would be really cute but a little bit more difficult to work with. So this, I decided to do the, it's a Dollar Tree mop head dissected, and these little pieces torn apart. You just stick your finger in them and they untwist and they come apart. So anyways, these work out better. So then I put a line of glue on there and just proceeded to go, and forgot that I was wanting to do a video on it. So here I am right now. Alright, so this, I don't know how many, but I'm taking these strands and I'm cutting them in half right here, and then just running my finger through it to get to the individual strands. Here's a piece. I'm gonna need more anyway, but anyways, yeah, just you can just run your fingers through them. You can actually untwist them. You just take your finger and run it through and it'll untwist just like any rope or whatever else you work with like that. And then I laid them down here all the way to the top individually. Yes, individually. So I stood here and I laid, filled it completely up, and I'm gonna need a bunch more anyway. I've seen gnomes where they actually have a mustache part and the beard part. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this one, but I know that what I want to do, you want to get them into a bunch like this. And as far as the hat goes, I took some scrap red felt that I had and wiggled it around until I got the two pieces that I needed to make a hat. So on this, unlike my Santa Claus, this is going to go, where'd my red nose go? There it is. This is going to go half on the front, half on the back, and then I will glue them together. So make sure that your pieces are big enough to actually fit together on the sides. That's all you gotta do, and they're just triangles. So I gave myself extra for the nose here, and then after you make sure it's going to fit, you get it glued together, then you can go back in and trim off the excess red, because the nose is going to be there, and we want to capture this on top of the nose. So worst case scenario, my bottom piece doesn't work right, and I think it will though. And I have to go find me another piece of red. So we want it to come down about midpoint of our newspaper roll. So you're not going to see it at all underneath it. I guess it's just a good way to upcycle. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, I put that hanger on and it just wasn't hanging him straight. So it needs to come from here. So I'm going to cut another piece. But what do you think of the gnome? You think he's alright? He's okay for a prototype. See, I couldn't get the back of the hat to work out. It needed to be bigger than the front, or the front needed to be bigger than the back, vice versa, whatever. So I couldn't get the back on, and he really did need a back. So there's my big flub. But this is the first attempt. I mean, I just did it by what I had already done, accomplished before. So making sure that my cording is straight this time. Well, this time I had it off to the side more, but his hat is kind of crooked. Excuse me. So anyway, here he is, Mr. Gnome. I wish I had better camera set up here, but let me know what you think, guys. I think he turned out really good for my first attempt. I'm going to make another one with a better hat and then take a picture of that for the video. So here he is, Mr. Gnome.